Live from Studio A, the 6:30 Show with Dave Gray.
Hi, it's me, Dave. How are you? Good to see you. It's the 6:30 Show. It's Tuesday. Oh, let's all take a deep breath, shall we? Go ahead and hum together here. Whew, that felt good, didn't it? Tonight, our topic, tabloid journalism. Now, you say, Dave, is there anything other than tabloid journalism? Well, you say, I don't even read the tabloids. Look at this. Get a shot of these tabloids if you can. We got the Sun. We got the Inquirer. We got over here, we got the Globe. We got the Star. We have my personal favorite, the Weekly World News. You'll see why in a minute. Now, no matter how dirty, no matter how bad, no how awful you look at these stories, say, oh, I don't want to know about John Bonet. Oh, Princess Diana, it's terrible, it's horrible. You still read them. You read them the same way that you sing Barry Manilow songs in the car when no one's around. You do it. You don't want to hide. You might as well just let it go and read these all the time because you know you're not out there. You don't have your Encyclopedia Britannica. You have your National Enquirer. That's all that you have, people. Why not let it go? Let it loose. Enjoy yourself. You know what? The cool thing is, actually, they have, I swear to you, they have classified ads. I should take one out. They actually have classified ads, and one of them had an ad, and this is the only one that worried me, that actually said, $5, just pay $5 and never get ripped off again. Oh, good, honey, send in 10. We'll be doubly covered. Terrific. Well, now you got to wonder, with the way our headlines actually are, with Monica Lewinsky, Bill Clinton, and you've heard of them, and everything else that really is happening, that fine line between real world and tabloid, it's kind of crossed over. Is there a difference anymore? I don't know. I went out and tried to find out today. Let's take a look. Here we are, right next to a library, but as you can see, people don't seem as concerned with books as they used to. Do people even read books anymore, or is it just the tabloids? People don't want to know about Gone with the Wind, The Scarlet Letter, the true classics. People want to know about the Bat Baby. They want to know about the guy with the lobster hands. Is he coming after me? Is he chasing down Bill Clinton's ghost? See, Bill Clinton's alive, people. See, that would be the problem there. But the thing is, everybody who doesn't admit to reading the tabloids, just wait. You seem to know an awful lot about them. Here we are on State Street with...
My name's Sam.
My name is Sam. Sam?
No, your name's Dave.
No, I'm Dave. Very
right.
good point. Sam, I'm Dave. Dave, you're Sam.
Nice to meet you.
See how that works out? Nice to meet you, too. Good to see you. Now, we're reading tabloid headlines. People say they don't know the tabloids. They don't care about the tabloids. Tabloid journalism is not taken over.
Gotcha.
I'm going to read you some tabloid headlines.
Okay.
You tell me simply real or fake.
Okay.
All right? Or you could say bogus or cool, not cool, whatever you want to say.
I get kind of like true and false test.
Okay, true, false kind of thing. Here we go. All right, here we go. Thanks for explaining that to the viewer at home. Here we go. You ready? Here we go.
Yep.
Real or fake? Elvis found on Mars.
Fake.
No, that's real.
Oh.
It is. That's real.
Did I lose?
No. Here we go. Still going. 4,000-year-old TV found in pyramid.
Real.
That's fake.
I'm losing.
We're gonna see if we can. We'll get you one. We'll get you one.
Left?
Egyptian mummy is father of my child.
On the next Oprah?
Thanks for coming down. People think they're on a game show. That's the odd thing about this. Here we are, Andy and Timothy. Tabloid headline: true or false? Here we go. Michael Jackson was the Elephant Man in his past life.
True.
False.
That was a good move going with the false, but it is true. I'm sorry. All right, 1-0, the score here right now. Here we go. Computer talks with dead.
That's true. Definitely.
False.
No, again, good move going with the opposite, but again, he's right. 2-0 the score right now. Best of 5 is what we're going for. Bigfoot cured my arthritis.
That's false.
False.
Okay, that was false. You stayed in it with 1. Okay, 3-1. If he has to miss the next 2 for you to tie it up and go into an overtime period, which is oh so exciting, stick around at home. Here we go. TV preachers are UFO aliens.
That's true.
True.
Yes! Oh, this is exciting, but he just won, really. He got 4 now. He's got 4 for 4. You've got 2. You shouldn't be so happy. Here we go. Gust of wind blows midget balloon peddler 20 miles.
Oh, that's false.
True.
No, that is indeed false. You have gone 5 for 5, sir. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And as a prize, we are giving you the Catacombs Coffee House. Congratulations, that's yours to keep. What do you attribute your knowledge of tabloids to, Timothy?
Many subscriptions.
You have subscriptions to the tabloids.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Well, you're like a big piece of Samsonite, aren't you, Timothy?
Thank you very much.
Is it really a slip-sliding day? How am I supposed to believe that? I don't care what paper it's in. You know, I'm reading this stuff to people, and they're believing it. They're buying it. Oh, yeah, the mummy. Oh, yeah, lightning is turning a man into a woman. Adam and Eve found in Asia. Bigfoot cured my arthritis. That could happen. This is lightning cured 4,000-year-old chief fleece. What the freak? That man over there, that guy's been eaten by a flea circus. I think it's Elvis. I got caught up in it the same as you do. And you say you don't, but you do. So, what are we going to do about this? We're going to find out whether or not you believe the tabloids. Do you believe the tabloids? Because they're real. They're there for you. They're like the tooth fairy. Whether or not you believe in them, you're still getting a nickel. Coming up right after the break, Leskie Pinton, the senior editor of the Weekly World News. And your calls here on the 6:30 show with me, Tabloid Dave. Flea circus goes wild with hunger and attacks trainer.
False.
No, that's true. That happened. I saw that. It was right up there. It wasn't even pleasant to watch. It was terrible. Oh, I'm sorry. I got caught up in the tabloids, which you people say you never read, but millions and millions of them are sold every single day. You're sitting there, you're in the express lane, you're trapped behind some guy who decides he has to get batteries and gum, and he wants some of that breath freshener stuff, and you end up buying one. And who benefits from this? People like my guest tonight, the senior editor of the Weekly World News. This is Leskie Pinton. Leskie, are you there?
What's happening? How's it going?
How are you, Leskie?
I'm doing okay.
Leskie, as the senior editor of the Weekly World News, one of the finest, and if, in my opinion, the finest tabloid in the entire country, what is it that your job is each and every day when you wake up?
Now, we distinguish ourselves from the other tabloids. You know, they have a lot of celebrity news, and they have color photographs, man. We're just a black and white tabloid. We almost never have any color photographs. You know, we don't go for paparazzi pictures of what Sigourney Weaver had for breakfast or what Dennis Weaver had for lunch. Don't get me wrong. The Weavers are fine people, but our readers are more interested in the Loch Ness Monster and the Bigfoot and the Bat Boy, for heaven's sake. You've seen the Bat Child,
People love the Bat Boy. What is it with the Bat Boy? People love the Bat Boy. People say, we don't have a picture of the Bat Boy here. But Bat Boy's a little guy, and I'm not talking about like Robin or somebody like that. Bat Boy's a little guy. He's got the little pointy ears, and he's got. Does Bat Boy have wings?
Oh, he has wings in back. He's growing wings now. He's been captured. He was found in the Shenandoah Mountains in Virginia, taken to Wheeling, West Virginia.
Sure, of course.
He's about 4.5 feet tall, bald head, gigantic saucer ears. You can probably get ESPN4 with those ears. He has a terrible whale, these sharp teeth. So they had him in there. Didn't know what he was. Is he a bat? Is he a child? What kind of a mutation is this character? Can he read? Can he dance? What's the deal?
What is the deal? Is the Bat Boy a pretty intelligent guy?
Well, they think he's very intelligent. They're trying to teach him how to talk. He escaped the first time when they had him in Wheeling, West Virginia. They left him in the observatory, one of the fine observatories they have in Wheeling, West Virginia. The next day they came there. The door was busted open. The security guard was bleeding on the ground. The window was knocked open. People said, I wonder what happened here. Well, I'll tell you what happened. Bat Boy escaped. He was on the loose for like 2.5 years before he was finally caught in Charlotte, North Carolina. Charlotte,
North Carolina. That's where the Bat Boy was. Unbelievable. You know, after all that, it seems odd that we're going to take a call here from somebody who has to tell us that, I'm sorry, he's not there. Somebody actually was going to say that the tabloids were far-fetched. Can you believe that? Leskie, can you believe that?
Well, it depends what you mean by far-fetched. I mean, some of our stories are crazy because people, they go to the daily paper if they want to read about the sewer board meeting for last night or the school board meeting, or if your daily paper gets the kids' honor rolls on page 2 from the local high school. That's fine. I'm not making fun of it, man. I did that number for a long time in Gastonia, North Carolina, and Bluefield, West Virginia. But that's not for me, really.
Well, this journalism's obviously more fun for you. I mean, I'm not going to say you made any of it up because that would be rude and wrong. And cannibals probably do open diners, for all I know.
Well,
probably a lot cheaper for them.
See, we got 48 pages every week. We got to fill 48 pages. Happily filling 48. Why would we make up a story on one page and then cast doubt on 47 other pages? We wouldn't want to do that. That'd be crazy to do that.
Can I ask you a question that you might be able to answer for me, Leskie?
Sure.
Why is Ed McMahon in almost every single ad?
We don't. I tell you, my opinion is he's a fine spokesman.
Ed, I think. Don't get me wrong. Ed does a good job. Don't get me wrong. I love Ed, and I'm a big fan of Ed. But Ed is every place you go. Look, here's Ed right there. There's Ed right there. There's Ed's face.
Well for himself. We have him occasionally in ads in the Weekly World News.
Sure.
And he speaks well for himself.
Now, the Bat Boy, most popular character probably Weekly World News has ever exposed to the world. What's the biggest story? As the Weekly World News, what's the biggest story you people have ever let go to the entire planet? The biggest exclusive.
1.4 million when we broke the story about Elvis being alive. Now, we broke that story in the United States. There was a lady that was writing a book. As a matter of fact, I was writing a book over in France, and my editor, Eddie Clance, saw the book was coming out about Is Elvis Alive? This is way back, I guess, about 1986, I guess it probably was, May of 86.
Sure, that's when we first found out the good old Elvis was still around.
That's when the rumors started being passed around. So we ran that, and we had the front page back at work. There's only like 7 or 8 editions still around anywhere that we know of. There's one up in Delaware. A lady called down and said she has one of the collector's item editions. Here's the deal. That wasn't even the only...
Leskie,
Yeah.
I hate cutting you off here, but it's too good a story, and it's too big a story. People want to know more about Elvis. People want to know, is he alive? Is he hanging out with the bad boy at the Cannibal's Diner? We're going to find out after this break. More with Leskie Pinton from the Weekly World News, and more about tabloid journalism with your calls here at 270-9933. If you call, I'll put you on the air. That's how I am. Look at Leskie. Here we go. Bigfoot cured my arthritis.
Fake.
Fake.
No, I'm sorry. That's real. That is real. Here we go. Flea circus goes wild with hunger and attacks...
No, where's the answer key?
I know. I know. Let's just say I know.
I'm sorry.
Let's just say I know. You can't dispute with the judge. This is not quiz show.
You just
Can we?
lost all credibility.
The credibility is in the tabloids. Never question Elvis being on Mars. Back again. The 6:30 show that you people, look at this, we got one call. That's the worst ever. Now, come on, you call in, you talk to Leskie Pinton, or I'm going to start randomly calling you. Do you understand me? I'm going to get yelled at later for revealing that. You're never supposed to do that in TV. I'm supposed to act like these lines are packed. But Leskie, people I think are baffled at home. I think they're shocked. I think they're a little bit stunned. I'm looking at your picture right now, by the way, Leskie, and I don't want to say this in the wrong way, but you're one heck of a good-looking guy.
Well, I tell you what, I got a voice for a newspaper and a face for radio.
I have to agree with both. You're no worse than me. Trust me, pal. No worse than me. Leskie, you were about to tell us the whole Elvis deal. Before we do, Lewis has a comment. Lewis, first time ever calling into the 6:30 show?
No.
I don't recall seeing you on here before, Lewis. I'm surprised to hear from you. Lewis, what is your comment? What is your question? What do you have to tell Leskie Pinton and Dave Gray?
Actually, first of all, before we get into that, just thought I'd let you know that I enjoyed laughing last week from last week's show.
Thank you.
And
maybe it'll make up for this week's show.
Yeah. But I was just wondering, though, with all the tabloids that are out there, how do you end up getting these news, and where do you get them?
That's a good question, Leskie. That is a good question, Leskie.
It's a stunningly good question. Let me tell you what. Here's what we do. At Weekly World News, we take 350 newspapers a day.
Ooh.
From all around the world, all around the country. We get all the newspapers. We get the Milwaukee Journal, for instance. Now, a lot of times newspapers, even though they say they don't do this, what they'll do, they'll run what they call a short talker. Now, that's like the story on the bottom of page 1 in the left-hand corner, or maybe in the left-hand column on page 2. You know what I'm talking about. One of those.
Something that nobody would normally say.
In the newsroom, they call those man bites dog stories, which are stories that are out of the ordinary. We need a short talker for this whole. We need a man bites dog. So we'll pull those out sometimes. And also, there's crazy stories happening all over the place. We pull them out of that. That's one way we do it.
Okay.
The second way is I personally have 63. I had to fire one today. 62 correspondents from all around the world.
I'm sorry. Who'd you have to let go? What country do you know?
A guy over in India who had sent us a story
Isn't
about the cobras, the guy that trained the cobras to sneak into people's houses and steal jewelry at night.
Sure. I've heard. Everybody's familiar with that story. Sure.
He tried to upbid us on that story, and he was going to get a picture. He tried to sell it to someone else, so we had to let him go.
Yeah, that's the business. That's how it works. Very cutthroat world, tabloids.
So we get our stories out of papers. We get our stories from our correspondents. Sometimes we have an old lady in California who takes 6 daily papers. She reads them all, clips them, sends us the crazy stuff, And like I said, no school board meetings, none of that stuff. We're more interested in the story out of Australia about the principal who, when the kids graduated from school, sent every one of them a letter. They wanted to say, congratulations on leaving school. I think you're all winners. Had a typo in it that said, I think you're all wieners, every one of them.
Well, maybe he meant that. You don't know, because, a lot of kids,
Humiliating. The story about the...
terrible for the kids.
The woman with the 10-pound hairball. Now, they ran this in an Arizona paper, a real small 2-graph thing, about a woman who had emergency surgery to remove a 10-pound hairball from her stomach. They ran 2 paragraphs. We said, man, this got to be a better story than this. Well, the deal is this. We had a full page on it.
She ate a Furby, didn't she?
No, actually what happened, she's the kind of gal that chews on her hair when she does her math. That kind of type. They get frustrated, so they chew on the hair.
I do that.
One day her fiancé, and they're going to get married, I think, in a couple of months. Their fiancé ran to her to the hospital. She was dehydrating, passing out just about. The deal was they did the surgery. She had a 10-pound hairball in her stomach. They think she had taken in 120 pounds of hair over the years.
Oh, my.
All but 10 pounds have been eaten away by the stomach acid. So they did the surgery. We ran the picture of her with the hairball, which she still had. Ran the picture of the fiancé, the hairball and everything, the full big story. It's a big story for us. A woman nearly dies on a 10-pound hairball. Come on. And I've said this many times. She doesn't look like the kind of gal who'd have a 10-pound hairball in her stomach. She doesn't look like the type.
I think I've seen a picture of her, actually. And, in your mind right away, you picture the kind of girl who would have a 10-pound hairball. We all have seen them. And this girl, I've seen her. She does not look like that kind of girl. And speaking of that kind of girl, on line 3, it's Tina. Hi, Tina.
Hi.
How are you?
Okay.
Tina, real quickly before we go, do
Hello.
you have a 10-pound hairball in your stomach?
No way.
Just verifying right away. Now go ahead.
Okay, I want to know how you substantiate these stories.
Well, Leskie, how do you substantiate the stories? How do you verify these things? Because Tina,
That's what I
they're all
wanna
true.
know.
Tina, they're all true.
Here's what we do on the crazy ones.
No,
We'll
they
do like,
aren't.
you know what the good cop, bad cop technique is, because if someone's trying to call us to the Weekly World News and tell us a lie, tell us a big story, trying to pull one over on the Weekly World News, what we'll do, we'll call them back and maybe I'll call and agree with everything they say. Oh, is that so? It's very interesting. Someone else will call them back and see if they tell the story the same way the second time. And maybe they'll be a little bit rough with them. Now, you trying to fool us here, you trying to fool us here, do the good cop, bad cop thing. They think I'm their friend, the other editors, trying to pull it by on them, something like that. So what the deal is, if they're trying to pull one over, if they're trying to lie to us in the Weekly World News, now we'll find them out because, they'll tell us a story and it'll have a slip up in it or something like that. So that's what we do, basically.
I don't know why
daily
she's saying
papers
that,
don't do.
Leskie. Well, I'm going to cut her off because that's just wrong that she'd say that, Leskie. I don't know
What'd
where
she say? I didn't even hear. I didn't.
She said you were crazy, Leskie, and I know how hard you work at the Weekly World News to maintain the level of excellence you do. Now the calls are pouring in from people who want to know more about the tabloid journalism. We will get more into that and more into the world of the Weekly World News with the senior editor, Leskie Pinton, here on the 6:30 show with your favorite buddy, Dave Gray. Lightning turns man into woman.
False.
It would, though. You got to, if you're hitting the right spot, you got to figure, that wouldn't be good. Oh, hey, I'm sorry. Hey, it's little Dave Gray. There I am. Do you want to know more about the show, or you just want to email us a comment, maybe get some tickets? What happened to my voice there? I don't know. Give us an email at dave630show@yahoo.com. Yes, that's Dave, 630show@yahoo.com. There's my buddy Rich. Can you get a shot of Rich? There he is. My buddy Rich. Look at that. That's a nice outfit. Very manly guy. Very intimidating. We're going to take some calls now to talk to Leskie Pinton. Leskie, you there?
I'm here. I'm ready.
Leskie, you are the man. Can I say that real quickly?
I enjoy working at the Weekly
You
World
are
News.
the king of the Weekly World News. I'm no longer referring to you as the senior editor. You are just the king.
You see the story about the card trick we had about the guy that went to a funeral, went to the grieving wife, and said, "I'm sorry to bother you this time of mourning, but tell me a card, any card." He was stunned what to say. She said, "The two of diamonds." Walked over to the corpse. Can you believe it? Reached in the coat pocket, the jacket pocket, pulled out the two of diamonds.
Oh, man. Hold
now,
on.
that's his way of making a name for himself, but it's a pretty good trick.
Yeah, it is. That actually is a good trick. He gave the guy a two of diamonds, then shot him. Is the thing to set up that trick? It probably wasn't worth it. But what the heck?
But how would he know that she was going to say two of diamonds? That's where the trick comes.
That is the really weird. Wow. Let's take a minute. Okay, let's go to Tim on line one. Timmy, there. Tim.
Hello.
Tim, how are you?
Oh, I'm not too bad.
The question is, Tim, do you care?
I do kind of care. Hey, Dave, actually, I've seen you chew on your hair. Now, you have to sit down to do that, don't you?
It's not easy. I stretch over the back. There's a flip that comes out. It's in a nice tight bun now. Let's just leave it as it is.
All right, my question is, now, I don't know if the Weekly World News runs these famed psychic predictions every year, but I'd like to know if anybody looks back a year later to just see just how many of those actually come true.
Leskie, the Weekly World News, do you even have the psychic predictions going?
We do this occasionally. Last year, people said, how come no one figured out and predicted that Bill Clinton's going to get caught in a sex scandal with some intern? How come he didn't predict that? Well, the thing is, you don't have to be a psychic to predict that, okay? You have to be a psychic. You see that coming from down the road.
No, not at all. And you don't have to be a psychic to predict that the Weekly World News will continue to sell as long as you people have a checkout aisle to walk by it. I enjoyed having you on today, Leskie. I hope to talk to you again sometime.
Yeah, we'll do it again sometime.
We will just have updates and talk to you the whole show. Okay?
Yeah, we'll give away some t-shirts.
Thank you. We will talk to you people next week here on the 6:30 show with me, Dave Gray. He's gone now, so I can talk bad about him. You'll never hear from Leskie again. That's my promise to you. We'll see you next week on the 6:30 show. I love you people. All of you.